Oh, look at that! Look at that bit! Look at it all! Oh man, there's heat! Whoa! No freaking way! No! That's insane! What's up guys, my name is Chris from Vo-Gus Prospecting. Today we're crushing up some gold ore from Dad's Reef. But before we get to that, I'm going to take you back 4 weeks to when I found it. Grizzly and I are out on the gold field with the Gold Monster 1000 near Dad's Reef looking for some more ore, and I think I might have just found some. Grizzly has been a super good boy today. He's kept his urges to chase kangaroos completely under control, and he led me to this rock, and it does this. Oh, we're getting a signal both ways, but that ain't no hot rock. I'll guarantee you there's gold in there, and that is a strong response. Now that's interesting. It's actually a super heavy rock as well. So we'll definitely take this home and crush it up, but we'll see if we can find any more first. We slowly worked our way up to the top of the hill, plenty of hot rocks and bits of junk, but I finally made it to Dad's Reef. Now this cut in behind me is Dad's Reef. That right there is his shovel he left back here in 1970 odd, and part of his gold pan. It's since been through 2 or 3 bushfires, major bushfires, plus lots of other little things and weathering. It's a bit rusted now, but a nice piece of family history to have. That's a natural ground level up there, and we're in the cut right up the back, and I've just scraped away a bit of dirt off the top of this, and we've got a little bit of a signal, but it sounds like a hot rock, so we're going to just find out what it is. But it's sharpening up as I dig, so we know it's not in this. We're going to get rid of that, and we're just going to really gently scrape away some of the dirt. Something else to be conscious of: if you shake your scoop, you stratify your material, and whatever the target is will go to the bottom. This is why I hate little targets. Ugh, little targets. Pain in my ass. Yeah. These rocks here, which you're probably going to struggle to see a little bit, they're not that good. They're everywhere around here, and they just have no gold and nothing. I spent the better part of the morning looking for gold, and I've come back down to where we originally struck ore. You can see all this beautiful stuff on the ground here. It's all got gold in it. The problem is it's super dense and hard to get out. I'm going to take you home, and we're going to crush this stuff up. We're going to weigh it, and then we're going to crush it, and we're going to see how much per ton this stuff has given us. So now that you've seen where this piece of gold ore has come from, and hopefully you've also caught up on all the other Dad's Reef videos linked below, we're going to throw it in the dolly pot, crush it up, and see what's in it. So the first thing I want to do with this rock is actually wash it. I want to get all this dirt and stuff off, just to see if there isn't like a visible bit of gold sticking out at us straight off the bat. Well, oh hot damn, I can. I can see some. Oh, this is going to be a good crush. Oh, this is going to be a real good crush. I'm going to get you as close as I can without it going fuzzy, but can you see that tiny little bit of gold just there? Thought I'd just come back with a toothbrush and get in this pocket here, because this pocket it's full of dirt and it goes really deep into the rock, so we might be able to see something more, something bigger. And I've just got a spray bottle full of vinegar too, so you know, a basic light acid wash. I was super dubious about this rock because of the signal it gave me, and the fact that we had been over this area with the SDC and a gold monster before, and for whatever reason we missed this piece of ore. But the more I look at this rock after soaking it in vinegar, the more gold I can see. It's ridiculous. There is so much gold in that rock. This is going to be by far one of my most exciting crushes I've ever done. So we better get to weighing so I can finally get to crushing, so we can see exactly how much. And I've got a special product, called a weigh bag. It's definitely not a jewelry bag that I've stolen and put my logo on. It's not. For all the dexterity that humans have, a third hand would be really handy. There we go. Tear it out. Zeroed. Into the Vo-Gus bag. Here we go. Well, that's a very convenient number. exactly 400 grams. If you're just getting into a little bit of ore processing yourself, this is the basic gear you need. There's not overly much here. We've just got a dolly pot, we've got a snuffer bottle, we've got a hammer and a chisel to split ore down to manageable sizes, a small gold pan and a sieve. Honestly, this is your most important piece of equipment that you can own. And the smaller the sieve particle sizes, those little holes are about 1 millimeter square, the better, because 3mm gold is often very, very tiny and locked up in the rock, and you want your rock to be powder. And the only way you can do that with a dolly pot is to keep sieving it and re-crushing anything that doesn't go through. My first step is going to be to break this piece of ore into smaller bits. Right, let the nerve jangling begin. Ooh, there we go. Well, there's one little bit. She's a hard rock. There we go. One hard hit. Alright, manageable pieces. So this is why we have that bag here, because you don't know how much fine gold is trapped in all this dust. We'll tip that into the dolly pot first, but I cracked it dead in half. I'm just trying to see if I can't see any bits of gold. We're finally up to the fun bit, the bit that we've all been looking forward to, and that's crushing these things. So we've reduced this down to 4 main bits plus a couple of little pieces. I think we're going to crush these little bits first and just get them out of the way. And we'll throw this one big gnarly bit in as well. And before anyone mentions that I'm doing it on the grass to reduce a bit of the noise, that's also why I've got rubber wrapped around it to stop some of that reverb. Because that thing is really loud when you start smacking rocks in it. Right, here we go. I feel like a caveman. Or an alchemist. Go with alchemist. That's all the little pieces crushed up to dust. I couldn't see any chunks of gold in it, so if there is anything in there, it's probably very fine. That doesn't matter. We're going to start doing the big bits that I still have visible gold in. The first bits that I crushed up turned to powder almost instantly, but I tell you what, the bits that are down there, they're refusing to turn to powder. They're clinging on to life. What we're going to do is just filter it out a lot more often in the hope, yes, the hope that we can crush these down a little bit easier. Maybe like a couple big bits like that at a time. Yeah, I think that's the way to go. Cake bacon. Just having a look through the sieve to see if I can't see any big way. There we go. All right, we go on. Now this is only a small piece of gold. It's just there on the end. And we've got another piece just there. So we've got two nice pieces of gold sticking out here, and I've explained a couple times in my posts before that gold actually starts its life out quite small in a lot of areas. So many people think that gold gets worn down by rivers as it gets traveled downstream from floods and whatnot, and to an extent that is true, big bits of gold do get reduced in size over time, worn down, ground down into smaller particles. But free mill gold, like what we're crushing up today, starts its life out just that small. And that's why you can have an abundance of very small gold in one particular area if there's a reef shedding that has that sort of particle size in it. In fact, a lot of the mustard pit is due to reef rock, bits of ore that are floating downstream, breaking apart with that tiny free mill particle size in it. So it's just something to bear in mind. You're not always going to find nuggets. That's highly dependent on the geology of your area. These are just some of the pieces of quartz with gold attached to them that I'm pulling out of the sieve. Fan-freaking-tastic. Well, that took about 40 minutes, and that was a workout. I got one huge right arm right now. But we did get it reduced to powder, so all those bits are 1 millimeter or under. Ideally, you really want it even smaller than that. So if you've got a finer sieve, use a finer sieve. This next bit is definitely my favorite part, panning out what I just crushed. But before I do that, I've got to use one important tool, and that is a magnet. This particular magnet is a floating magnet from Placid Tools. It was sent to me a little while ago, along with the Best Damn Pan and the Green Mountain Gold Trap, all of which I've got a review, well, first look at, not really a review video, coming up in the next couple of weeks. So if you don't want to miss out on that video, please hit the subscribe button. That'll help my channel grow, and you won't miss out on reviews or first looks, whatever you want to call them. It's so cool, it just floats around, and then anything magnetic like ironstone or some black sands and whatnot sticks to the bottom of it. Yeah, there we go. That's all the iron spalding that we got out of that rock. Saves you a bucket load of work. One of the best things about this is there's not really any heavies in there. And usually you don't end up with too much, so you can just get away with a bucket of water, which in Australia, water restrictions, and a small pan. Things will change though when I get a crusher, because I want a crusher. And then we'll be sluicing this stuff, hopefully. Alright, we're going to put the magnet in one more time, just to make sure there aren't any iron filings left. There was a heap more. Ooh, I can already see some gold. Oh, look at that! Look at that bit! Look at it all! Oh man, there's heat! Whoa! No freaking way! No, that's insane. No way. Oh my god, I've never seen that much gold come out of. That's 400 grams of rock. That's nuts. That's nuts. That is a lot of. I've had way worse days sluicing, like all day for way less. That's a big bit too. That's a nice picker. Look at that bit. Okay. I'll clean. I gotta get my head together. That's nuts. I'm in a bit of stunned disbelief. Like, that was a loud signal, but I thought, oh, maybe one nice bit and that's close to the surface and a bit of free mill gold, but that's a lot of gold. For 400 grams of rock, that's a heap of gold. I spent the last 10 minutes washing all the dirt down into this bucket because there is so much gold stuck on quartz, it was really difficult to separate. But it was well worth it because that's what I got in 1/2 pan's worth of dirt. Are you freaking kidding me? Look at the size of some of those pieces. And at the other end, this is exactly what I was talking about with free mill gold. It starts its life out that small. That's exactly why you crush up your ore as fine as possible, because you're not going to destroy the nuggets. You physically can't crush the gold down, but if you don't crush it fine, you won't release those small particles. And just look how much fine gold there is in that. Look at it all. And as cool as that take is, I've got 3 more in there that were giving me signals. I'm blown away. That's just unreal. That is the single best pan I have ever had panning. The single best pan. There has to be a gram of gold in that rock. If there's a gram of gold in that rock, that is going multiple ounces per ton. And Mick, strap your jocks on, buddy. We're going up to that reef and we're going to find the damn source because we know it's there. I've let the gold dry out overnight and I'm still in a little bit of stunned disbelief. I've had reasonable nugget finds up to 3.8 grams and finding 1.5 gram pieces fairly regularly. And you know, I've had big cleanups from alluvial streams. 4 grams in one day, it was about my best take. That was a pretty good day. But to get that from one fist-sized rock is outstanding. But enough yibby yabbering out of me. Let's get this gold on the scales and actually find out how much we got. That's the gold that we got out of that 400 grams of rock next to a Clash Guitars pick. So you can kind of see how coarse it actually is. And this might help some people out. See how sharp that bit of gold is? It's got real shape to it and real jagged edges. That's what reef gold actually looks like. So just because you're finding something that has a bit of shape to it in the stream does not mean the reef is necessarily close. Gold is very soft and will be worn down quite quickly. So if it doesn't look that sharp, you're probably nowhere near the reef. So let's get this on the scales. My hope is that we get exactly a gram. That would be amazing. I'd be really happy with a gram. Little did I know, a small disaster was just about to unfold before my eyes. Well, absolutely nowhere near it, although I've got a really weird feeling that my scales aren't quite right. Okay, there is absolutely no way that that is only a 0.3, so we're going to do a little bit of a test. This is a 10 gram weight, and we're going to put it on there, and if it doesn't weigh 10 grams, then we know something's up. 3.85 grams. So my last like 4 or 5 weigh-ins have probably been completely inaccurate. So in other words, we have absolutely no idea how much that weighs. It seems to be about 60% out. Right, so my scales are saying about a 0.4. Which means that if my scales are 60% out, we can add a 0.24, which would bring it up to 0.64 of a gram. So that's the rough maths that I'm getting from that. I'm going to have to go buy new scales. I'll keep this separate and weigh it at another day and probably post it in a video for you. I do apologise. This is frustrating me as well. Well, even though we had that bit of a disaster with the scale, I think it's safe to assume we pulled out probably around 0.5 grams worth of gold from 400 grams worth of rock. And that's about 40 ounces a tonne. I know at 40 ounces a tonne that is incredibly rich by today's standards, but you do need to extract a tonne of rock, and that doesn't mean that you can just take the ore, because if the ore's only this big in the rock phase, you still need to take this much so you can fit your shoulders and you swing your pick and do all that sort of, you know, hard mining work. And that's dilution, which means dilution will take that overall quantity of gold, the 40 ounces a tonne, and strip it right back down to maybe like 5 or 4 or something like that, because you still need to work and crush that waste rock on the outside. I really hope I've done this video justice for one reason above all else, and that's the connection I have with my dad over this spot. This was his spot from the 1970s. He went up there and he told me about this spot 40 years later. And it's something that's drawn both my dad and myself closer together, sharing that passion about gold and that excitement about going back to a spot that we've now both worked and found gold in. So to find something truly spectacular like this, irrespective of how much it weighs and how much it's worth, sharing that experience not only with you guys, but with my father has brought great joy to my life. And it's something I really want to push out there. Gold prospecting isn't about the money, not for me at least anyway. It wouldn't have mattered if I'd found 1 or 2 specks in that rock. I still would have been very excited to go back and tell my dad all about it. And I reckon there's a lot of people out there watching my channel right now who get the same experiences with their family members, whether you're hunting hard rock, detecting for nuggets out in the middle of the desert, or washing a pan in a stream. And I kind of want to take this opportunity to celebrate that fact. So I'm going to offer you something as well. Is that if this video hits 1 million views by the end of April, I'm going to give away a brand new Gold Monster 1000 shipped anywhere in the world, brand new in the box. And irrespective of how many views this video gets, at the end of April, I'm also going to give away a chunk of Dad's Reef. So you can either have it as a specimen on your shelf or crush it up and see what's in it.
This will all be announced at the end of April. All you've got to do is make sure that you share this video so it gets out there so we can give away a gold monster, and make sure you hit the subscribe button to the channel, because the subscribe button is how I'm going to be picking the winner for the Dad's Reef specimen. There's a little bit more detail on this competition in the description below, so make sure you pop down there and give it a quick read. Now, Dad's Reef is a long-term project, and we hope to bring you more videos of crushing ore from there, as well as extracting and mining it from the ground in the future as we explore the area further. Furthermore, if you want to hit that like, share, subscribe or dislike button, it's all free, and it will give you access to heaps of gold prospecting content, not only on my channel, but the collaborations I do with other YouTube gold prospectors all across the world. So until next time, guys, make sure you stay safe out there. Don't scratch anyone behind the ears, because I don't want you getting funky viruses. Peace, and I'm out. It's probably safe to give your dog a scratch behind the ear for me.